Winter is definitely here. One of the questions we get asked the most is, does it get cold on the boat? So that's what this vlog's about. Okay, here you go. So does it get cold on a narrowboat? Well, yeah, it does, if you don't have your heating on. We've got three main sources of heating on this boat. We've got our multifuel stove, our central heating, which has now been changed over to a webasto diesel heater rather than the back boiler that it came with. And we've also got oil for the radiators, which run off the electrics when we're plugged into shoreline. Our main source of heat, the one that heats the boat up the most, is the multi-fuel stove. So when I've had that lit now for about half an hour, and I've got the bow doors open, I've got the duck hatch open, and the kitchen windows open as well, because it's too hot otherwise. Your boat just turns into an oven. So that's our best heating. The most convenient is now the webasto, because it's just literally the touch of a button and the radiators get hot. And we mainly use the oil-free radiators for overnight. If we've not got the stove simmering away overnight, we have the oil-free radiators on low overnight, just to keep the temperature, just to keep the boat at a nice temperature. So our multi-fuel stove runs on wood and coal briquettes. The coal, even though it's not the most environmentally friendly, it's not house coal, it's briquettes that have got other things in the coal as well. They give off the most heat, and it also burns a lot longer as well. But we do use quite a bit of wood as well, which is either what we've gathered locally or from old pallets that we get delivered to work that we chop up. The only problem with pallets and light woods like that is they burn really quick, so you're constantly having to fill the stove back up. The main disadvantage with the multi-fuel stove is because it's at, I don't know if you can see that there, it's just there. Because it's at the bow of the boat, the saloon, the living room, is really warm, really hot. And then as you go towards the back of the boat, so we've got, where am I? So the kitchen's there, and then we've got the two door, and we've got a door, then we've got the bathroom, then we've got another door, then we've got the bedroom. So even though we've got an eco fan on top of the stove, which runs off the heat, which pushes hotter towards the back of the boat, I'm not 100% convinced how effective they actually are, but it does seem to do something. Although that does push a little bit of heat back, you can feel a difference from going from the hot saloon going into the bedroom. The temperature drops off quite a bit. So especially at night, it can be absolutely roasting in here and pretty cold in the bedroom. So that's the disadvantage of the multi-fuel stove. So previously, the back boiler fed the radiators, and there was a radiator in the bedroom. So when the stove was running, the whole of the boat was warm. But as you'll have seen in previous vlogs, when it was fitted, they used plastic piping, and it ended up bursting with when the previous owner had it. When he had the multi-fuel stove burning, it burst. So it was completely decommissioned. And that brings us on to the oil-filler radiators. So we have one just behind Lexi here, behind this yellow chair, which heats this space up, and we have a small one in the bedroom. So they're on timers, so we can use them to come on and go off at certain times. But as I said, we mainly use them at night, just to keep the temperature at a nice temperature throughout the boat, rather than in hot and cold spots. We can't use those when we're not on shore power, so when we're not in the marina, we can't use them. The battery bank that we've got on the inverter will run them, but it'll absolutely hammer the batteries, so we don't use them. So when we're out of the marina or when we're out cruising, we use the multi-fuel stove and we use the webasto central heating. So that's what I have just installed in the other previous vlogs. That's the easiest way of heating this boat. We just come in, it's on a timer, so it comes on and goes off at certain times, or if we just need the heating on, we just press the button, and then we've got heat straight away, and that also heats our domestic hot water as well. So that takes about half an hour to an hour. If the boat's really cold, it takes half an hour to an hour to get it at a nice 20 odd degrees. but it's perfect for early on in the morning, or when we know we're coming home at certain times. Then we just set the timers, and then the boat's nice and warm. And then if we need to, we'll light the stove as well. But we can also use the webasto when we're not in the marina, so when we're not on shore power, because it runs off diesel. It's only taking a small amount of charge from the battery bank. It uses most electric when it's starting up, using the glow plugs to heat the diesel. Then once it's running, it doesn't use a huge amount of electric. So those are our three main ways that we heat our boat. There is different ways that people heat the boat, so every boat's different. So as I said previously, our multi-fuel stove had a back boiler. There's a lot of people that just have the multi-fuel stove and the back boiler for heating the radiators, and that's all their heating sources. There's some people that have diesel fired stoves, so you can get conversion kits for multi-fuel stoves that you can convert to run on diesel, or you can get a specifically designed diesel powered stove which is the same as that. So it's not like a webasto where it's heating hot water. It's an actual stove. And the ladies over at Narrowboat Experience are currently doing a series of vlogs of getting one installed on their new boat, Lazy Days. And they're going through the process of getting quotes, getting it fitted. So if you're thinking about getting a diesel stove installed, it's definitely worth watching their vlogs. There is some people as well that just have all their heating source off a webasto or Eberspacher, which is the diesel fired central heating system, and that's the only heating source they have on their boat. I think they are mainly leisure boats, but there is some liveaboats that just have that as their heating source. So if you think I've missed anything about heating on a narrowboat, or if you've got any questions, or you completely disagree with what I said and you just want to write a comment, just stick it down below. If you've liked the video, give us a like. If you've not liked the video, give us a like, and I'll see you soon.